Okay, sir, by form of introduction, my name is Baraza, Digital Desk Metropol TV. And thanks for coming to our program today. Yeah. So perhaps if you start by introducing yourself. Many people have read about Lordship Africa. There's Lordship Africa, there's Lordship Group, and there is Jackson Jonathan Foundation. Perhaps, but as you introduce yourself, tell us about all this.
Okay. Thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. So yes, I was born here in Kenya, as I think most people now see. I'm actually a Kenyan citizen. My father was a teacher. He was principal of Masoriot Teachers College. And I went to school. He did my schooling here in Kenya. I then did my degree in London. I then started my business in Czechoslovakia, which is now Czech Republic, of course. And there I started in real estate, and there is a. I started with my first project was renting an apartment, making it clean and painting it and subleasing it. And from there, I started to do another one and grew my business in Czech Republic. So and I did that and my main business is still in Czech Republic. That's where my main business is. It's been a good business there. It's just basic real estate I've been involved in. And I've invited people to come and see me, and there's some reports out there which are about, what have I actually done there, and people can see exactly what I have done in Czech Republic. So that's where most of my training and my skill set was done, mainly in commercial real estate. I built a lot of commercial. I built over 6 million square feet of space in Czech Republic. So I've been thinking about what to do to come back to Kenya, and I decided to come back to Kenya about 8 years ago, and I started to invest here. And so I've been taking the money from that I made, the profits I made in Europe, and investing my profits back into Kenya. So, and then I decided to actually come back and actually start living here again. So I now spend most of my time here living in Kenya, working on my projects and working on projects in real estate. We have a project called Karen Hills, which is a big residential scheme in Karen. High-end quality 1 acre plot residential scheme, and this has proved to be extremely amazing project, and it's a very luxury and very prestigious project there. So the other project then, of course, is 88 Nairobi, which we're doing in Upper Hill. This project is going to be the tallest high-end residential building in Africa.
So you said renting an apartment as a real estate developer. Could you kindly explain this to a normal Kenyan out there to understand how exactly?
I started my business.
How
I started it. Yeah. Okay. Very, very simply. I mean, it was in those days, it was just after the Velvet Revolution. So communism had just stopped. And so with communism having left, there was now all the foreign companies who were wanting to come into Czech Republic and into all the other Eastern European countries, and there was no modern office space at all. There was nowhere for them to work from. So, and they were wanting to set up representative offices, and it was very hard to find good quality space. So I saw an opportunity there that I could rent an apartment, paint it, put some new carpet in, some nice new lights in it, make it look comfortable and nice, and sublease it to one of these international companies coming into the market. So I was renting it for a small price and subleasing it for a very high price. So I had a very big margin between the two. And I said, okay, this is good business. I'll do another one. And so I did one more and another, and then I had enough money to rent a whole building, and I then reconstructed the building, and I subleased all the floors in the building. So
Which year was this exactly?
This goes back to 1990, 1990, 91, 92. Between 1990 and 95, I was just starting my business in those times. But it was very difficult then, because there was, just after communism, the old communist state had finished. There was no rules, no regulations. And so when you ask somebody, how do I get, a permit for hygiene, everyone would say they wouldn't know. There was no clear way how to do it. So often what would happen is I would do my proposal, present it, and they would say, I see no reason why not, but they didn't know how to say yes. It was very difficult.
With the Nairobi skyline is about to change with the coming in of a 44-story building, private building in Upper Hill. If I may ask, why Upper Hill of all places in Nairobi?
Well, the Upper Hill is being designated as a new CBD area, and also high-rise buildings are allowed in Upper Hill. So you've already got several high-rise buildings in Upper Hill right now, like Brigham Towers and the others. So there's a possibility to do it, high-rise. And the main compelling reason is that the main hospitals are there. You've got the law courts there, so you have all the lawyers there, and you've got the World Bank and all the other financial institutions in Upper Hill and quite a few embassies. And the people who are there, working there, they travel 3 to 4 hours a day through Nairobi traffic to get to work. And everyone knows Upper Hill traffic is terrible and crazy. And it is really bad, when you're leaving. So to me, it's an obvious solution is to, rather than them traveling so far to where they live, build them something very nice, extremely nice, in the center of Upper Hill so that they can even walk to work. They don't even have to drive to work. So we're actually helping to reduce traffic because all the people who would live in the building don't get in a car and drive to where they're living. So it helps to reduce traffic because you're keeping people living near to where they work. And also it's, of course, hugely beneficial for the people working there. So it's a great investment. Of course, there's no competition.
It's quite intriguing, the thing you coming up with in Nairobi. As a real estate developer, of course, we have so many here in Nairobi. What are some of the challenges you faced in Kenya?
The challenges here is always your administration, the processes that you have to go through. Some of the issues is that, and I'm very happy to see that the Kenyan authorities are finally working towards upgrading the building control systems. So the procedures and what is acceptable under building technical standards is being updated because it was very old, and some of them are still old, the standards for construction. So now in these days, if you're building a high-rise building, things like fire escape and security and stability and things like this are in the worldwide in terms of building standards have really changed, and Kenyan was quite far behind, but they are improving it and it is getting better now. So I'm glad to see that happening. And the other challenges, of course, is usual bureaucracy. We have, as we all very much aware of, corruption here in Kenya. So, but I think generally, if it's not so bad. I mean, I said the other day that if I compare Kenya to Czech Republic, for example, my last project in Czech Republic took me 11 years to get permit. So, I mean, 11 years. So but there it's more because there are systems and processes where people can obstruct you and block you. So, and there's very, very strict conservation rules, because one of the things about Prague is it's the largest UNESCO protected area in the world. So it's very high standards of protection for buildings and quality of buildings. So it makes it very complicated there. So and because of it, I will not do any more development in Czech Republic. I have finished. So now I hope to do all my development here in Nairobi.
It took you 11 years.